some seeking adventure, some bound in chains, through battles waged and fought, through victory and pain, by test of their courage, our freedom was gained. In homage to those gone before us, the heroes of lands in the sun, we vow to join hands and to focus on building one Caribbean. Raise your voices high.
Welcome brothers, welcome sisters, welcome to our program On Target. And as usual, as soon as we start this program, you can pick up the telephone and give us a call. We never have a subject matter. We speak about anything. Politics, religion, socio-economic issues trending, or you too can introduce your own subject matter. You know, this is a beautiful democratic system that we have here. I believe it is one of the best examples in the Caribbean. From 1984, when we had a second opportunity on the principles of one man, one vote, every election has been free, fair, and free from fear. Why do I say that? The side that lose election in Grenada has never contested. And in fact, they have conceded defeat within 24 hours. So it means that generally they agree with the system. And any irregularities that seems or appear, it is not worthy of speaking about. And that gives us the opportunity, with the amount of medium we have, to express our opinion. I think it's a good thing. I say that because too many times among our small countries in the Caribbean, we seems not to have confidence in ourselves. And I ask why. There seems to be no legitimate reason why we do not have confidence in ourselves. This, I believe, is the biggest challenge facing the Caribbean and Grenada in particular. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in your people. You have to have confidence in yourself. We have to believe that we have the answers to address the challenges that meet us. Not Europe, not England, not Russia, not China, not Israel. We in Grenada have the answers to address our problem. Size is not the issue. Guyana is almost twice times the size of England. Guyana don't even have 1 million people. Size is not the issue. Africa is bigger than America, bigger than Europe and China put together. Forget what you see on the map. When monkey writes his story, monkey always right. We have a caller on the line, caller Punch.
Good day, sir.
Yes, my brother Punch.
Well, yesterday I was late, so I want to open back today.
You welcome, the pitch is already prepared.
Good. Well, I normally have a song used to sing last election. We know what we have, we don't know what we go get. People hold on. But I realize we know what we're going to get, so I have to do some changes on that song. I will tell you why. If we only make a mistake, we're going to get what we know the other people have a history of. We're going to get late salaries in this country. We're going to get selling of assets to pay public servants, government assets. We're going to get it. We're going to get sending home not some e-money, all the e-money is going to go home. And that is one of the best programs the government institute. That's going to happen. We're going to get interfering with the list of the public assistance. We're going to get bloating of the public service because blindly I realize these people just saying things mad. So I believe we're going to get bloating. We're going to get fighting in the cabinet. So I believe we have to change that song. We know what we're going to get. I warn people, we know what we're going to get even before the right time comes. So it's not about we don't know what we're going to get. We know what we're going to get. And Mr. Pierre, I don't know if it was from you, but I think it's, you know, being a lawyer, lawyers does not make good politicians. And I will tell you why. Lawyers does not make good politicians. As a little boy in 1973, Sir Eric, the late Sir Eric Matthew Gary, I was at Mount Royal speaking to him. You know what he told me? He said, Philip, lawyers are not good politicians. Ask him why. And at the same time, minister with a portfolio, the late Derek Knight, Senator Derek Knight, he was a minister with a portfolio. He came and he said, Sir, give me the country for a month. Let me deal. You have some guys what emerging against you. Let me deal with them. Just 1 month, about 2 weeks. Sir said, Mr. Knight, prayer is the greatest weapon God given man. This man believe in prayer. Derek Knight come and say, man, Sir, too soft, man. You know? So, from that day I heard it, lawyers don't make good politicians in this country, and we have who aspiring to be leader in I don't know if you agree with me. Thank you, sir.
I don't know if Forbes Bonham, I think, was a lawyer. I don't know what was John Compton's profession. John Compton was a Vinci, you know. But I don't know if he was a lawyer too. You see, it's not necessarily lawyers don't make good politicians. You have had lawyers that was generally good politicians, but we have not had lawyers that was good leaders in Grenada. It's a big difference. A man could be a good lawyer, a good politician, a good person. But the worst thing is when you find people go in politics at an older age. It wasn't their intention. They never used to deal with human beings. But after a time, people lobby them to get involved in politics. People lobby them to get involved in politics. Mr. Blaze was a lawyer. And he'd been around quite a while. I think he was one of the worst politicians that passed in the country. But people would not say that. Because he didn't do much. He did not do much. But he was able to maintain the status quo. So a good politician is kind of relative. The people in certain interest group might judge you different. I think Eric Gary and Keith Mitchell have to be the two best politicians that pass in Grenada. Why I say that? Because of the fact that people had enough confidence in themselves, in them, to vote them back repeatedly. And if you're in a system that provides one man, one vote, you have to judge based upon the success of the individuals. But these men had genuinely interest in improving the majority of the people. And I think that is where it was very easy for them to win in a democratic system. You see, it's where your interest lies. Some people go and sleep and they wake up and maybe they get a dream that they should be a good politician. They should be a politician and they come in it. And sometimes they're very awkward. They go after the people they expect to vote for them. During Maurice Bishop regime, a prominent supporter of Maurice Bishop, who pick up his guns, who overthrown, who was a well-trained military person, went to complain when Maurice Bishop was locking up all the old GNP. And Bishop tell him he is a vexed Garyite. That shocked him so much that he repeated it among his family, and the word leaked out to the Garyites in the community. He felt so embarrassed. He sold his assets in Grenada and he left. Within 2 months, he was out of the country, he and his family. Bishop said he didn't want vex Garrett. There was another lawyer who went to Bishop. He was one of the big financiers of the Revolutionary Boys. And after they was locking up people left, right, and center, people was going to him. So he went to Bishop. And Bishop telling me, next time you come back to me, I'm going to send you in jail. And they say, peace. The head of the traditional churches in Grenada never liked Eric Gary. Although Eric Gary was a staunch Catholic. So Eric Gary, for political reasons, invested in the Adventists and the Pentecostals. That is why he wooed Miss Ned to run for election. The people from the Adventist church object, and she wear pants, and she go on the platform. But by doing that, he was able to infiltrate these churches because the traditional churches was not supportive of him. He built a cross in Fort Frederick that you could have seen for miles, and it lit up in the night. But the church supported Maurice Bishop. You see, at that time they had justification because they had something called revolutionary theology. You hear about tie-dye and other strong Catholics, priests and other laity that was getting involved in revolution while the church was praying for communism to fall. Church members was turning communists. Leadership is an interesting thing. But one of the challenges with lawyers in Grenada, they have not identified with the common man. They have not identified with the common man. So over the years, a man like Derek Knights, he was a trade unionist. A lot of people don't know that. Minister without portfolio. But Derek Knights was not able to get work from big companies did not used to employ Derek Knights. Because Derek Knights used to fight the plantocracy, the privilegencia, and bigger companies in this country. What is happening now is not only lawyers, even our own children, even poor people children, when they get education or they get certification, they believe it put them in a new social class. That is why Tilaita daughter, yes, she does see she daughter. But the daughter must get a dream. She should introduce her mother to her children in town. So she come up and get the mother, but she want to go and do her hair because she hair ain't looking good. She bring Tilaita in the hairdressing salon. But Tilaita says she does wash her hair only on Saturdays. And she not washing her hair on Tuesday. So after they wrangle about washing hair and the hairdresser decide to compromise, she take her scissors. Tilaita says she's not a man. She not cutting she hair. Do she hair so? And she found out it's $150 for the hair. Tilaita said I too much money for a hair. They tell her if it's $115 The rest is for VAT. Tillita said, give her the money. So the daughter gets so embarrassed. Tillita tell me she run down the step with a high heel shoe. And if you know Tillita, the daughter does small. But anyhow, she managed to get the $150. And at the girl I meet her, because we take her rum in the rum shop, she buys some fish and I drop her home. You see, this is the challenge we have in our country. Those of us among the society who have a mass certification abandon the ordinary man. The challenge is not in Grenada alone. Very few prime ministers that assisted the common man. Very few of them that was intelligent. Eric William in Trinidad and Tobago. You know, most of the other prime ministers in Jamaica, they came from the plantocracy. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Yeah, how are you going today, man?
Great, man.
Well, I would love to pay a tribute to mothers because I think Sunday is Mother's Day.
Sunday is Mother's Day?
Yes, I think so. I just called
yes.
somebody and that's what they tell me.
But that is great. Yes, you go right ahead.
So we have to give high praise and recommend and compliment our mothers. Because these days, my friend, mothers are playing a double role as a single parent, mother and father. And the thing is, they say that the person who rules, the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. So we are proud as mothers. I'm not a mother, sorry, but I want to compliment and bring up all mothers because they have been molding their children. They have been single-handedly bringing these children up. They have guided these children. And despite what happens, they are women, that we women are the vehicles which bear children. So the fact is that when you really look at what we go through, because in itself, pregnancy is a risk, you could die, and lots of people have died. And so we had to compliment mothers for their care and dedication and their love that they show to us and their unwavering support and in guiding and molding, nurturing us. Because when we are molded properly and nurtured properly, a strong community builds a strong people. And strong people build still nations. When we look at it, sometimes mothers have to stay up in the night, my friend, change diapers. And we know in some cases, men not really cooperating. That is why we have single head homes really right now. People are, the mothers are heading these homes single-handedly because in most cases, the fathers are upset and people just call them sperm donors. So when you look at the tireless nights, the sleepless nights, changing of diapers and etc., all these things, some people might say, well, we didn't ask to come into the world, but the fact is that we are here and you have to big up all mothers, and I want to compliment them all over Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, and world over. Mothers, thank you for loving us, thank you for caring for us, and thank you for molding us and keeping this nation safe. And we want to thank you for every single thing because we know it's a difficult job, especially these days where you have mothers who are in the household and they are in charge of everything. So mothers play double role as mother and father. So for women, mothers, and we also have to take into consideration some grandmothers who also play the parts of mothers, who probably their children go away and they have to look after. And also some fathers also who play the role of a mother and father. The mother abandon them. We have to single out. We have to talk about all these that contribute to making our lives easy and possible. So we have to pick up all those persons who are responsible, plays the role of a mother, adopted mothers, etc. We thank you and we love you, and we want to ask you to continue mothers and people who are intended to be mothers that are not mothers yet. We want you to know that it's a great responsibility. We want you to take it up, be responsible, and look after your children. Thank you, my friend. Have a great day.
Yes, and it's so great. I always remember my mother. I said that she should make twins. I'm so happy and glad I'm on the earth that I say, Mommy, you should make twins. One enough. But yes, and God made women to be mothers. A child is a gift from God. And God didn't give it to man. Because God knows if he had give that gift to man, man might have gone fight war. Man might have gone hunt. Man might have gone and fish and damaged his gift. So he gave it to women. It's a gift from God. And that is the reason why generally women live longer than men. That is one of the reasons. Because God gave them a gift. It is also the reason that biologically women start maturing earlier than men. So when a girl is 13, 14 years, even 11 or 12, she may start to get biologically ready. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am. Punch, it's good to hear your voice.
You're feeling a lot better. Yes, I want to give things to mother and grandmother. Because my grandmother grew me up. Well, my father knows.
What happened to your mother?
My grandmother say, if she have a child from she's son, and it's a girl, she taking it.
Oh, yes.
And she take me from 9 months from my mother.
But a lot of mothers used to do that.
And
when the son make a child,
yes,
and it's a girl, they took it away because I want to take care of her. They say if he's a boy, triple, he go make it. If he dead, he go make it. Generally, people was more cozy, tend to realize the woman need more protection.
I tell you, Papa, my mother take, my grandmother say, well, she lucky she leave me with my mother for 3 months. She say, no, man. When I reach 9 months, she say, she take me for she 2 girl children, because she 2 girl children did not no children. Papa and my grandmother grew me.
She did her best.
Yes, she did she best. And I love my mother too, because if it wasn't for my mother,
your grandmother would not
have get me.
Yeah.
So I love the both of them.
That's
my
important.
Mother and my mother was right in my life.
Even some people who may not have children, but they look after children, they encourage children, we also have to remember them too.
For that, my two aunt, Auntie Elegant, Auntie Angie, man, they like me to a T. They didn't want to see me cry. Every time they cry, if I cry, one pick me up.
Yeah, they provide comfort for you.
Cry again, the another one pick me up. And another cry again, we come my grandmother pick me up. So,
you call that mother figures. You have a lot of mother figures. So that is what you want in society. You want more people in the society have the mother figures quality. So even if a child loses their mother, but there are substitute mothers in the community that would give them that motherly protection.
And you know which mother I love again? I love that lady to a T. Miss Mitchell. The Prime Minister.
And I think she's about 95 or something. What's her age now?
99.
Well, yes.
November she would be 100 years.
So that is extremely remarkable. And it's also something that we must advocate in the society.
Yes.
Healthy aging.
Yeah,
that people, you see, when we watch her age and her level of health, we must advocate in the society healthy aging. That people do things that could keep them healthy.
For bringing that wonderful song for us.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's my...
Yes, thank you, and it's good to hear your voice.
Love,
yes,
bye-bye.
Thank you very much. You see, these are things you could encourage in the society. Healthy aging. There's sometimes people who die, and there are some people who die in, the mothers die and the children in infancy. But other mothers in the community, other women in the community must come out, reach out, and help them. And that is extremely important. You see, we must have confidence in ourselves. We must believe that we could solve all our problems. mothers have a significant role to play. Sometimes I a little bit pick on women because sometimes I think women does not understand the power of the role that they have. God give his gift to you, and it's God's gift you have. The circumstances under which you get the gift sometimes is practically unacceptable. But the gift is important. And God gives you the responsibility. And yes, it is a challenge, but men cannot handle it. Men cannot do what you do. You have a projectile in front of your chest, and it gives milk to a life. It gives life to a child. Man can do that. And women tend to live longer. And some individuals said, you see some women with a lot of children and they look so young. I said, children make them look young. So women should have children if they could. And if you can't, you must help children if you want to look younger and nicer. And a child is a gift from God. And the Bible tells you, grow your children in the ways of the Lord. So when they are old, they'll come back. Because Christ knows we go back out sometimes. And then you must make certain that your child is well educated, multi-skilled, multi-talented, and endowed with the characteristic that gives them the competitive edge on the market. Women must know that. Look at the fowl in the yard. The young ones come under its wings as he fights to protect it. A mother fights to protect a child. Look at all the animals. They become more defensive when they have young ones. Our mothers, that's your responsibility. Don't blame no man. Your responsibility. Sometimes in the process of romance and sex, you select the wrong man. But forget that. It's the gift that's important, the child. In Grenada today is the best time to have children. Because the state has provided that there is no child, no person, no man, no woman in Grenada that could say they cannot send their children to school because they don't have the basic requirements. A number of other countries in the world cannot say that, but Grenada could say that. In addition to that, government has lifted the economic bar at the poor. So if your income falls under $3,000 a month, government say you're poor. Once you're not paying personal income tax, government put you in a special bracket because they want to make certain that there is enough liquidity among them so that children would not suffer. In the process, some people are technically poor. Why I say that? You must be making $3,000 a month in Grenada before you pay more tax than a vagrant, more tax than a mentally challenged, more tax than an unemployed person. Compare that threshold with the rest of the Caribbean. You see, we have a lot of people in Grenada that disfigure the truth. But this is the fact. You must be making $3,000 or more in Grenada before you pay personal income tax. So anybody you hear talking about tax, it means that they're making more than $3,000 a month. And $3,000 a month, the government calculate, could make anyone live relatively comfortable and take care of the children. In addition to that, the government, the Grenada Social Safety Net Program is perhaps the best in the region. So they want to make sure certain children could go to school. You know? So women feel good, make children. Don't even waste time bothering with them man and them. Bring them in the court. If you get a thing from the court, it's all right. But based upon the government policy and the social safety net program and the support system, you will be able to make children and take care of them reasonably well. You don't have no problem. And you have with support. Remember, a child is a gift from God. And God gives you that responsibility, not me. And you could give me a call. The number to call is 442-0175. See, sister said, just reading, blessed afternoon, sir, and listening to Real FM. Keep progressing, stay strong. Yes, Real FM radio from the north. One of the radio stations who have, I think, is generally trying to reach out to every creek and corner in Grenada and to everybody. And you could pick up the telephone and call my program. You don't have to have no command of the English language, or you don't have to swallow the grammar book. What we're interested in is communication. You see, this in the Caribbean now, there's a lot of voices in Grenada and the Caribbean that when they should speak, they stay in silent. They seems everything they see it as party politics in the country. Now there is a bigger political force affecting us. They take no part in it. But all we do, or part of the things we do very well, is to tear and sear our country asunder. Right now, the British Virgin Islands had some challenges where the leader, chief minister, how you call him, was arrested in the United States on allegation of drug charges. They set him up. They sent some dummy, they said to set him up. The British government is trying to implement direct rule in the British Virgin Islands. The University of the West Indies should be up in arms against that. Why I say the university? That's where we have people learning to be our better brains in the Caribbean. Our journalists should be objective. Our historian, our social scientists, Facebook people, informing the British that they're wrong. Why do you want to, in the 21st century, go and instill direct rule on British Virgin Islands because there is acts of corruption? This country young, let them mature. The British know about corruption. The Americans know about corruption. Russia and China know about corruption. These islands young, help them to develop rather than want to enforce direct rule. The Caribbean stood silent when Libya was bombed to oblivion. St. Vincent and Libya was helping most Caribbean islands, including Grenada. We still owe Libya money. But when the Americans decided to bomb Libya, we did not open our mouths. The Caribbean today should be shouting a big no to the British government to certain that they don't implement direct rule in the British Virgin Islands. Too much of us in silence. Too much of us is silence. The same thing happening in Grenada. Everything have to be about the party politics. There are some issues in Grenada that we could change and we could talk about. There are some issues people need to raise their voice against. Even the individuals who claim that they're not politically oriented, politics alone they're joking. You could give me a call. The number to call is 442-0175. You see, if we have confidence in our country, and we have confidence in our people, and we believe that we have the answers to solve our problem, we could change things quickly. We could make a big difference. Our children are going to do much better in school because you know you have no godfather. You know you're not sending them to the United States of America and etc. to witness culture shock. There are opportunities in Grenada. It is very easy in Grenada if you have the basic qualification to get a scholarship to go to the St. George's University or to get an opportunity to go to the university where over 90% of the cost is not financed by you, or to go to any other country to study. So why is our children not taking that opportunity? The simple answer is the attitude. Our attitude is the problem, and we could change that. But the elders in our society have to be convinced. And your 5-year-old child can't behave like they are 2 years. When you have a child 5 years old, you must know that child behaving as a 5-6-year-old. Your 15-year-old son cannot be performing like you are 7 or 8 years. Something wrong with his socialization. Something is wrong with his education. And that is where I come and I blame women. I say our women is responsible for the low quality of our productivity in schools. Why do I say that? The government claim that they're spending 11% of the GDP on education. They claim that our teachers or educators are better educated today than any other time in our history. They have more certificates. The schools are better fixed. The schools are better staffed. 20% of the teachers that go to the school, they drive themselves to school. They have cars. Now this is good. It means that things ain't so bad. It also means that they have discretionary income. It also means that they could get to the school more comfortable and they don't have to compete with the children for the bus. So why is our productivity level so low? So when I ask the government, they say that is what they're doing. When I ask the teachers, they say it's the parents. 60% of the household are led by women. 60% of the household are led by women. And a high percentage of those led by men, the women have veto power. So I believe women is responsible for the low productivity in school. So if the women recognize that and they could change their attitude, and they recognize that a child is a gift from God, and God didn't give anybody. This kind of manner, see, God wouldn't give them his gift. Give a woman his gift to carry. And you had that gift inside you for 9 months. Every movement, every vibration, you felt it. You could have related to it. So the social bond that was developed between you and that child, no man could understand. But women have to be in a defensive mood. Every mother that has a child or have children in the animal kingdom, almost everyone, they tend to get more defensive, very protective. They will fight animals 10 times their size, even suicidally, to protect and defend the child. I think that is what is missing in our country. We let all the other destruction take place, particularly among black women, and we become selfish. and we're neglecting our responsibility, and our children paying for it. So I believe we have to plead and to convince our women that there is no excuse why your child is not doing well in school, except you're not hungry for education and your attitude. And that could change overnight. You could change your attitude overnight. You could get hungry for education. You could want to see your child succeed. And the formative years is the most important. I would say from 0 to 12 years. The biggest amount of work in a child's life is from 0 to 12 years. Once you do an excessively good job between 0 and 12 years, nobody can stop that child again. That child will go through school in flying colors. But when a poor job is done, when the parents is not hungry for education in the formative years of that child, a lot of distraction and complication come in. You can't depend on our educators and our teachers. Can't depend on them. And because of the fact that 60% of the women leads the household, and a significant percentage dominates the household, and you can't claim you're broken. Government come in and provide a strong social safety net program for you. All women have to do better. And the sister opened the day that we have to compliment women, we have to encourage women. Another time we could talk about man, because the man have a role too. But I think more emphasis have to be placed to make our women understand that they have the responsibility to make certain their children is well educated. And it's not hard, and it's not difficult. It has nothing to do with genetics. The issue is the environmental factors. And generally the women control that environmental factor. And you have government that is very understanding and sympathetic and provide for you financially. Because you have to be making $3,000 before you pay 1 cent in tax more than unemployed people. Grenada is very fortunate in that respect. You cannot say your kid don't have telephone or electricity. No. In that area, telephone, electricity, water, 90% of Grenadians have access to it. We're better than most countries in the Caribbean. So I believe that our women have to do better. We have to encourage them to do better. The men have to support the women to do better. This is an area this is a period in the world when education is key. A lot of technology is showing up in the war in Ukraine and Russia. Serious technology, not brute force. So the men have to support the women to make them more hungry for education for their children. You know, I think government is doing its part. It's not that government can do more. There are some intangible things that government could do to try to motivate people to change their attitude. But so far, our women need to do much more. 70% of our children that go into school cannot meet the minimum requirement. We could change that overnight. In 4, 5, 10 years, we could change that. And if it is changed in Grenada, He may change in the whole Caribbean. And we may change it in Africa too. Size is not the issue. It's attitude. That have to change. The amount of time we spend tearing Grenada asunder, we must recognize our positives. There is no need to distort the truth. When you compare Grenada with the rest of the Caribbean, Grenada stands tall. In yesteryear, people used to speak about the road. I'm not even hearing people speaking about the road again. Some people talking about how much accident we have. The road's so good. So we are making a lot of infrastructural advancement. And people have more discretionary income. And that is because of government policy to have the tax threshold at $3,000 per month. You know? And you could give me a call. The number to call is 442-0175. The issue of this issue is an important issue that we have to speak about. But you could always mention back your politics. You know, we have a call on the line. Caller, welcome.
Yes, sir.
Yes, my brother.
I am saying that the people of St. Patrick, this morning I told you, the people of St. Patrick must make more use of the radio station. That radio station has been doing a very fine job, and I find that those here callers more out of St. Patrick. We have that hours. I don't know, the last day I removed my radio from 91.9. I don't know. Probably if I do it for the year about once. I can't remember. I want to also say in the politics, well, I like the politics. We're doing all right in St. Patrick, East and West. We have a new candidate for the West who is trying his best to accomplish the project what was started. He's working hard to see if he could get things going when we put him into the parliament. Pamela Moses, just from River Stallion and places there, she's doing fine. Because, as I told her the other day, and I always say, she brings luck to that constituency, good luck. I see things happening in that constituency, what I did not see happen in almost 100 years. I don't have 100 years, but I mean, what thing have never happened? Things happening under her representation. So I really want to say hats up to her. She has been doing well. I also want to say hats up to the Minister of Agriculture. I just stay here and I saw the Minister of Agriculture is visiting farmers' lands who request him. People request the Minister of Agriculture. He's going around and see what is the cry, which I haven't seen for a long time. So I am saying this time we have a good thing going. Nazimbok and his team in 2018 was more popular, was more experienced, and they could not make it because this government proved and tested, and it's a hard working team of people. So I don't want to call it, I have no apology in saying these people who offend themselves presently now on the other side will be getting more blows than ever than 2018. I am not God, but I predict that because I know the type of people that was there the last time is plenty more popular and experienced than who is offering themselves now. I am not saying you're supposed to have opposition, but these people don't ready for government. I heard the gentleman saying last night that he's going to turn away contracts. Everybody will be permanent. I thought he stopped that. He also saying about they could pay the pension. So this man is speaking blindly. So Grenadians, listen to Real FM 12 o'clock. listen to know, don't ever spoil a good thing. We have a good thing going in Grenada, and I said, leave it, continue. Thank you.
Yes, my brother. I always like when individuals go in politics to know what is the history, because that tells you quite a lot. Some people end up in politics and there is no doubt about it because they were involved in groups, organizations. They've been agitating and representing people. They are family conscious. I'm a man who want to know how people treat their family, how they function within the family, within their peers, in the community, to know if I'll back them in politics. I like the family issue because the last time in America, a woman married a cat. You have people who very liberal for the sexual preference. And in our society, if you have people like that, you must know. I'm not saying you must not support them, but they must not take you by surprise. So this is why I like to know the philosophy, the strategy, the history of somebody. You have individuals. I have my good partner, John Galt. The man, 40 years, the man tell me, I say, you deal with this girl long, he's a good girl. I know he's a good girl in the community. I must know. She have 2 children for you. Why you don't marry the girl? 19 years they're together. He tell me, if he walking, don't fix it. I say, man, you crazy, man. Or you could have big children. You with the girl all these years. If she honey you, I must know. I say, well, marry the girl. He said, if you walking, don't fix it. And I'm a family conscious person. So sometimes when I see individuals old in politics, they don't married, they don't make up their mind. I want to know what is their sexual orientation. I'm not saying I wouldn't support you, but I want to know, because I don't want you to spring any devious sexual orientation on me. United States, you have people in a group married, some men have 3, 4 wives, you know. So I think it's very important for people to know. And that's one of the reasons people like to know somebody from the constituency or closely associated with the constituency, or the constituency knows them. And they come early enough so the constituency could really understand who these people are. Because they would be responsible for making laws. You know, it's also important for individual to know if the person that representing you, if it is easy for them to work with the people of the lower socioeconomic strata. You don't want them to pass laws that cause the tax threshold to raise. Because if they raise the tax threshold, they'll be affecting the people in the lower income. If they decide to cut programs that people benefit from the lower income, it's going to affect them. It's like Jamaica. When in Grenada here, when we started this 10,000 toilet, I said Jamaica must implement one like that. Too much of violence in Jamaica. And you hear me on many occasions referring to Jamaica. Because our young people, particularly the males, are highly motivated by the Jamaicans dancehall artists. So if they are highly motivated by the Jamaican dancehall artists, and these artist songs are rough, when they're selling it downtown Kingston, they tell you rough, rougher than rough. And our youths here this is the main songs they listen. And then we have people in Grenada who is always inciting conflicts. Then you have to be mindful of that. You have to be very mindful. Things will just happen to you. You have Grenadians like to incite conflicts. A lot of our Grenadian young people are listening to the Jamaican dancehall artists. And they are imitating them. Well, if you're listening to something every day, I don't know what you're going to imitate except that. So it's very important for that. See, my sister says some Grenadians abroad and they knows nothing what going down there, but they're just sitting there and running them out. Always say we have to be very tolerant. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Yeah, brother, good day. How
Yes,
you
my
doing?
brother. Great, man.
Yes, I want to remind the people of the Northwest constituency that the Honorable Delma Thomas will be in Maribor this evening for the first ever political meeting for the period. You know, and we calling on everybody throughout the parish to come out and show support for the party and for the Honorable Delma Thomas. You know, so once again, I would like to, invite everybody. You know.
Yes, my brother.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you very much.
Good.
You see, Grenada is a small country. We have about 100,000 people. I don't know the figure, but I would not be surprised if we have 300,000 people outside, between Trinidad, America, England, Canada. When they asked Gary, who is a Grenadian? He said, if your grandmother is a Grenadian, you are a Grenadian. If your grandmother is a Grenadian, you are a Grenadian. That is why we so readily claim that individual that winning the race. I can't remember his name right now. So the people abroad, the people in the diaspora, they are Grenadians. And they have a right to be expressive about Grenada just like us. We can learn immensely from them because they may have experience that we don't have. They experience some shock, culture shock, that we have not experienced. And they could help to motivate the family members here and tell them how nice Grenada is. So we always have to give them a listening ear and be tolerant, even sometimes to things objectionable. Because it's one people. Grenadians at home and Grenadians abroad is one group of people. Whether you're from Timbuktu, Young Street, Frederick Street, and you are Grenadian, is one people. You know, we want to thank you very much for being with us today. On this program, we encourage our brothers and sisters to speak about any subject matter. We believe we can change things, but we have to have confidence in ourselves and our country. And we must do better to help our children and our women. They have to get hungry for education. They have to get more defensive in protecting our children. And we're back with you tomorrow between 12 and 1 for another opportunity to punch.